Reading Reddit number 9. Teeth. For years it went smoothly, just fine. Everyone was doing their thing, everyone was happy, and everyone was rich. Then the Easter Bunny and a dirty hippie had to go and ruin it for us all. I mean, yeah, it could be my fault. In fact, it kinda was my fault. But for the purposes of this conversation, the blame lies with that stupid Easter Bunny and the bleeding heart of a hippie. You see, I'm the Tooth Fairy. And I know you're thinking of some ditzy-pixie-looking thing that flies around with her wand casting spells. Cut that shit out now, because that's not how it is at all. And I'm not Dwayne Johnson either. Please, give it a rest. That movie sucked. I am a businessman, and teeth are my business. I used to have a simple and efficient operation. Children would lose teeth, which I would collect in exchange for some quarters, $1 at most. Perfectly fair considering that they're children. Those teeth would be ground up and turned to fairy dust, which gives seemingly magical powers to anyone willing to pay. I have some established customers who work the holiday scene. Patrick uses the dust to summon kegs of green beer. Nick feeds it to his reindeer so they can fly. I, of course, give it to my team of collectors so that they can silently hover into the rooms of children and purchase teeth. For the longest time, no one knew where I got the dust. It's not like people were reporting stolen teeth. Everyone still thought that the parents were the ones taking them, but they thought wrong. Ever since the discovery, the teeth collected by parents had been forgeries planted by my collectors. Ever since the discovery, the world was changed and magic became a reality. 15 years ago, a few scientists discovered that these teeth gave people superhuman powers, and the powers seemed to be chosen by the user. I don't pretend to understand it, but something about the teeth of children gives regular humans powers. Is it their innocence? Youth? Large quantities of candy? I have no idea. And frankly, I couldn't care less. It's a gold mine, or at least it was. It all changed the day I went out getting some drinks with the Easter Bunny. It sounds weird, I know, but he's actually a pretty cool guy. His name is Robert, and he's from Boston. Anyway, I sell him the dust he needs to become an egg-laying bunny for 1 day out of the year. The rest of the time, he's an accountant. Bizarre, right? He said he had something really important to talk about and he just really needed a friend. I almost never do this, but I went and got blackout drunk with the Easter Bunny to make him feel better about his wife leaving him. Dear God, that is the strangest sentence I've ever written. Apparently we didn't just talk about Robert's love life, because the next day I woke up around noon and had a voicemail. Hey, it's Robert. I messed up bad. Last night, after the bar, I ended up with this chick I met. Sounds good, right? Well, no. She's a real whack job. Like a hippie or something. This morning she started going off about how my clothes were made in a sweatshop and that I exploited children for pennies. Now listen, I was only like half awake when she started yelling at me, so I was not in the best frame of mind. But she was yelling, and I told her that the sweatshop thing was nothing. If she thought that was exploitation, she should hear about was the teeth. I knew I'd said too much, but then I ended up telling her everything you told me. I don't know why, it just kinda spilled out. Jeez, man, I'm sorry. I was a bit confused. Did I tell Robert everything? Oh well, I guess it's not a big deal. Who cares if some hippie knows? Then I turned on the news. Apparently the hippie was part of a workers' rights group that focused on children. Protests had started about how I paid kids practically nothing for the product I turned for ridiculous profit. And you know what else? This hippie was rich. Filthy, stinking rich. And she yelled to a news camera about how would she use her vast wealth to put me out of business. She said that once the kids knew how much their teeth were worth, I couldn't get by with paying them in quarters. And that's why the past few months have been hell for me. It started with a few kids finding gold bars under their pillows. Then everyone started asking why the teeth were so valued. Now, kids are getting wise and holding on to their teeth until a high bidder comes around. The producers I've now realized just how in demand their product is. They may not know why, but the ones who sell their teeth are getting insane amounts for them. College education, paid for with teeth. Parents' nest egg, paid for with teeth. And while this is all well and good for the little tooth factories, it's terrible for me and my customers. I wasn't getting any teeth, so I couldn't make any dust. Robert couldn't lay eggs for Easter. St. Patrick's Day was without beer. Christmas was limited to the few far northern areas St. Nick could reach with traditional methods. All because the dirty hippie couldn't stand to let kids get quarters for doing practically nothing. Now there's only one thing for me, an intelligent business owner, to do. I have to use the market to my advantage. I have to show her the beauty of capitalism. I will fix this, and all will be right with the world. Does anyone know who I can talk to about buying off a few dozen senators? Hi, this is Gabriel from GayBrain.com. If you want me to read your Twitter tweet, your short story, or your Reddit post, or anything else you need, message me.